This is WNCT 9 on your side news at 10 on Eastern North Carolina's CW.
Temperature readings are chilly outside tonight, and once the clouds finally scour out for good, it's going to drop even more by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. You'll definitely need a jacket, that's for sure. We're down to 39 in Greenville. We've got 40 in Rocky Mount, 43 in Roanoke Rapids. The last batch of showers in the process of sliding out of here. And of all things, the tropics becoming active now. That's Tropical Storm Sebastian. It has a chance to strengthen tomorrow. We'll have the very latest tropical update and your local weather forecast coming up 9 at 10 on the CW starts now.
Next on your news at 10, the future of a popular theater in the East is in jeopardy. 9 on your side's Madison Forsey is digging deeper tonight into the controversy surrounding the Whirligig Theater.
Plus, why the president of the state community college system says upcoming changes in the workforce will require schools in North Carolina to adapt.
And how a federal grant will help a sheriff's office in the East receive new life-saving equipment. Good evening, everyone. I'm Angie Casada.
And I'm Shayla Reeves. Thank you for joining us tonight here on the Eastern North Carolina CW. We begin tonight in Greenville, where the future of a popular theater is in limbo.
The Whirligig Theater is canceling all events except movies and plays. 9 on your side's Madison Forsey is getting answers.
I will do whatever it takes to keep this theater here.
About a week ago, an issue over the calendar of events at the Whirligig Stage was brought to Greenville city leaders. Citizens raised concerns the Whirligig Stage was holding events that were outside of what the space is zoned for, including renting the space to third-party vendors.
The code is not very detailed, and specifically the part that we are all very focused on right now is the interpretation of the category in which we are zoned, which reads as theater, semicolon, movie or drama.
When Executive Director Jason Cole reached out to the city for advice on how to solve the problem, they advised him to cancel all events the space isn't zoned for.
It is our belief that the majority of events that we hold are within the description of events that the city has advised us to cancel. I cannot say what events we will be able to hold between now and February.
Events like kids' musicals, jazz nights, and murder mystery dinners that bring in a substantial amount of revenue.
There is no way that a community theater can survive in this uptown district with the costs that exist here if they aren't allowed to somehow bring in some revenue.
Parents say shows at the Whirligig Stage bring people to other areas of downtown too.
We have to be up here for rehearsals. We spend a lot of time in the rest of the downtown area. And that's not something that I was doing a whole lot before this. I wasn't coming and hanging out next door at Pitt Street.
And without their staple events, they don't know how a place like Whirligig Stage can survive.
It would be a huge blow to all of the parents and all of the children. I don't know what we would do, but it would be very sad.
And after Whirligig posted this message to Facebook, comments started rolling in. More than 140 people weighed in on the controversy. Dozens more shared the post. Many showed support for the theater. Others asked the owner how to help. The executive director thanked everyone for their support. A separate post encouraged people to share the story, call and email city staff and representatives. And if there's something you want the 9 on your side team to look into, we want to hear from you. You can call our newsroom at 252-355-8542. Or you can send an email to newsdesk@WNCT.com.
Speaking of local business, the Sears department store in Greenville is expected to close by February. It's one of 96 Sears and Kmart stores closing nationwide due to what's been described as a difficult retail environment. Now, we wanted to find out the state of local business growth. So 9 on your side contacted the Greenville Chamber of Commerce. The president says this has been a great year for their partnering businesses, and the chamber welcomed 41 new businesses to the area. Others reopened, remodeled, or expanded. Despite losing Sears, the president says the chamber is always looking for ways to grow the local economy.
We have a lot of great opportunities for businesses that are here. If you're looking for a land to build a new business, there's land available. If you're looking for retail space, there's retail space available. We have a lot of strong partnerships.
The chamber held a ribbon cutting Monday afternoon for a new apartment complex in Uptown. Well, staying in Pitt County, community leaders say upcoming changes in the workforce will require colleges and universities to adapt.
Today, the North Carolina Community College System president came to the East for a community luncheon. It included future students. Our Amber Joseph reports.
Community leaders discussed the advantages of community college and the importance of short-term workforce training opportunities. Hahn says community colleges are a huge asset because they offer that short-term training. He says there are many advantages to starting out at a smaller college. He talked about how colleges will play a role in the change of society, economy, and technology.
There's increased automation, more artificial intelligence. It's going to be very disruptive to the labor markets. And so people are going to constantly need to be able to reskill and upskill so that they're prepared to adjust. A lot of changes on the way. Community colleges will be there to support them.
The NC Community College System hopes they can update the perception around what community colleges have to offer. Hahn says they're modern, diverse, and relevant to everyone's life. Hahn says short-term workforce opportunities are flexible, high quality, and lead to immediate employment. In the newsroom, Amber Joseph, 9 on your side.
A federal grant is making a difference for Onslow County Sheriff deputies. The office received more than $12,000 to buy new equipment. The Justice Assistance Grant, also known as JAG, helps local and state agencies receive assets they need. In this case, it will help the Sheriff's Office buy bulletproof vests. Sheriff Hans Miller refers to the vests as body armor and says they are essential to the agency.
Body armor, or the ballistic vest, allows them to do is it gives them an added layer of protection. And that is so important when it comes to human beings that provide that service to our citizens.
The sheriff said the agency plans to look into different brands and styles of vests until a purchase is made.
Also in Onslow County, the North Carolina Insurance Commissioner and State Fire Marshal made a visit today. Commissioner Mike Causey toured Mine Safety Appliances, a maker of safety products, including fire helmets and breathing devices. There are 1,200 local fire departments in North Carolina, each given a class grade rating depending on the conditions of equipment and department. Causey says this department grade also has a direct effect on what people pay in the area for their homeowners insurance.
If that fire department can upgrade their rating, then that has a direct bearing on what people pay for insurance.
Looking forward to the 2020 year, Causey says the North Carolina Department of Insurance is working with the North Carolina Rate Bureau to develop private flood insurance policies available to all North Carolinians. For more information, visit WNCT.com's online original section.
Well, when the winter weather comes, Pitt County will be prepared. Today, NCDOT conducted their annual test of their winter weather equipment. Crews went through all pieces of equipment to ensure they were in working order, calibrated the salt spreaders and brine applicators, and made sure all materials were fully stocked. At any given time, Pitt County has about 600 tons of salt on hand to use if roads ice. Another part of the test to ensure crews know what to do in the event of a winter storm.
Making sure, that our drivers are familiar with their equipment that they'll be operating, and also familiar with the routes that they'll be assigned to as well.
This annual dry run is conducted in every county during the fall to prepare for winter.
Of course, stay up to date on all of your local weather. You can download the WNCT 9 on your side First Alert mobile app. It's available for free on the Google Play and Apple app stores.
Well, Thanksgiving is just over a week away, and many people are expected to hit the roads this holiday season.
Coming up, we'll tell you the best and worst times to travel. But first, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson. How's it looking out there?
How's it looking?
It's looking decent. We do have some travel issues late tonight to early tomorrow morning with some fog that's starting to roll in. So be on the lookout for that on the way into work or school. We'll have more details on your First Alert forecast coming up next.
In your Tuesday Night Health Watch, 58% of Americans worry about getting the flu each year, but just over half of all adults got a flu shot last year.
About 68% of people believe the flu vaccine doesn't work. Brian Hutton Jr. is getting answers tonight about this seasonal health alert.
Last year was an especially deadly year for the flu around the country. Over 80,000 people died of the flu last year, the highest death toll in more than 40 years. That's according to a newly released report. Part of this reason is that millennials are not getting the vaccine at the same rate as other generations.
To be honest, I just haven't gotten around to it. My mom hasn't been on my back too much this year.
One healthcare provider we talked with says the herd immunity idea, or everyone being vaccinated to protect everyone else, works also with the flu.
Everyone getting a flu shot decreases the likelihood of other people getting sick from the flu.
A common myth about the flu shot is that it can make you sick. While cold or flu symptoms can appear in some people after the shot, that is proof that your immune system is working properly.
You might feel a little bit of runny nose, feel a little groggy, and that's your body actually working. That's just, the way that you build your immunity, build the white blood cells up.
You can still get the flu after receiving the shot, but the goal is to prevent the worst symptoms from developing.
It will make the consequences and the severity of the symptoms less, and also it decreases the likelihood of passing away from flu.
It is not too late to get the flu shot. The worst of the flu season is still ahead of us. In Raleigh, Brian Hutton Jr., CBS 17 News.
All right, let's break this down. If you do get the flu, you're going to probably miss 1 to 3 days of work. 35% will miss 4 to 6 days, and 6% will miss more than 7 days because of the flu. And here's one myth to bust. 49% of people think washing your hands with soap and water is the best way to prevent the flu. While it is important, your best protection against the flu is to get the flu shot. Well, today, New York joined the ranks of states suing the nation's biggest e-cigarette maker.
North Carolina was the first state to file a lawsuit against Juul back in May of this year. Attorney General Josh Stein's lawsuit asked for the courts to shut down Juul sales to minors and limit the flavors sold in the state.
California also filed a lawsuit against the e-cigarette company yesterday. Well, a North Carolina woman has spent weeks in the hospital after developing a lung injury related to vaping.
42-year-old Amanda Hall is slowly improving, and she has a message for people thinking about using vapes. Elena Athens has more.
I can't believe it. Like, it still feels like a dream.
Amanda Hall relies on an oxygen tube now. Her voice is shaky. She says one of her vocal cords is paralyzed. She'll eventually need physical therapy, but is doing far better than 8 weeks ago when she was admitted to the hospital fighting to breathe.
My lungs were shutting down.
The doctor said she was suffering from lung injury caused by vaping. She was airlifted from Wake Med to Duke Hospital, where there's more advanced technology. Amanda's had 2 medically induced comas and has been on life support. She thought before all of this she was relatively healthy. This picture was taken just 4 days before she was rushed to the hospital. The 42-year-old tells me she had been vaping less than 4 years and was using nicotine. She wasn't dabbling in THC or cutting corners and buying products off the black market.
I just used the regular that you get from a high-quality vape store.
She's hoping to spare others from the misery.
To the people who think, oh, it can't happen to me, it can. And it will.
One of her nieces came by and left several messages on the hospital window. Amanda pointing out her favorite.
God is not done yet.
It's been helping her through.
I look at it all day.
The situation, she says, could have been avoided.
I regret ever picking up that pen, but if my story will help somebody else, then maybe that's what this is all for. And I'm okay with that.
Amanda hopes to be out of the hospital in time for Thanksgiving. A GoFundMe has been set up to help with hospital expenses. Still to come on your news at 10, the latest story in our adoption series, A Loving Home.
This week we show you how a nonprofit organization here in Eastern North Carolina aims to keep families together. In this week's segment of our A Loving Home series, we're highlighting a nonprofit organization that serves Eastern North Carolina. Methodist Home for Children works hard to not only keep families together, but also help finding a foster family or permanent home for kids. The organization has been around for over a century, and I had the chance to sit with one employee who shares her heart for the organization and the lives changed. Cindy Tripp is the development officer with Methodist Home for Children and says joining the team was one of the best decisions she's ever made.
I have 3 children of my own, so I really have a heart for children.
And as soon as I got to know the organization and saw what a wonderful difference they were making, I was happy I'd done it.
An organization that stands on legacy.
Methodist Home for Children is an organization that started out over 100 years ago as an orphanage in downtown Raleigh. The needs of families began to change, and the way children are served began to change. Our board of directors realized that we needed to be out in the communities of North Carolina.
Through the years, the nonprofit has expanded tremendously.
So from there, we evolved into an organization that does a lot of different kinds of work. Foster care, adoptions, in-home services like family preservation. When a family is in trouble, we come in and try to help them work things out.
Cindy Tripp has seen hundreds of kids come and go through the organization, but seeing it come full circle felt like one in a million.
A lot of times it's the power of family that helps a child overcome adverse situations, but it's not always the traditional mom and dad family.
Methodist Home for Children's priority is safety and stability for each child.
Love, family, and the power that we all have inside ourselves to strive and do what we need to do. We see that in so many kids who come to us that it's really amazing.
But they can't do it alone. They need individuals like you to step up and volunteer.
Well, we're doing a lot of work here in Pitt County, and we would love for people to find out what we're doing and get involved if they're interested.
Such a great organization. If you would like to get involved with the Methodist Home for Children, or maybe you're looking for assistance when it comes to a child and your family, you can head over to their website, mhfc.org. Well, still to come, a quick check of weather when we come back.
Quick check of your inland first alert 7-day forecast. Sunshine for Wednesday and Thursday. Sunshine again on touchdown Friday, but a 20% chance of showers late.
Sunshine.
Right. Yeah.
Bring it on. Thank you so much. More news tonight at 11 on WNCT. We'll see you then.